What is happening, everybody? Welcome to episode 21 of the Clubhouse podcast. My name is Sonny G, and we're here again for a brand new week. This week, we are back in video form, and if you're listening to this on YouTube, I guess you couldn't really see that. I thought that we would actually make use of the technology that we have at our disposal and actually record a video podcast. Yep, you can see the screen in my glasses, but that's the problem with me having glasses. But hey, look, it is what it is, and it's all good. Thank you to everybody who checked out episode 20. I had some great feedback on it, and most people seem to really sort of enjoy it. They enjoyed my sort of rant about Xbox and all, the rest of it. I had some really good feedback, so I'm super happy with that. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody who came along and checked out the pre-show before the pre-show for Backlash this past weekend. We had an absolute blast once again recording. And we'll just continue to do these. The next time that we do it will be for Saudi Mania, Night of Champions. Looking forward to that. It's at some point this month. But myself and Finn will be here for that. And it's going to be... there'll be a good time. And Kay will be here as well, of course, doing her producer bit. So, yeah, it's all good. All good. Episode 21. Keeping it consistent. Let's do some dates. So, we have, and I've got some pictures prepared for this. So, next up for me, you know what? I miss doing shows. I miss being at shows. Being around shows. It's been a while. It feels like a lot longer than it probably has been, in all honesty, but I miss being around it. I'm really looking forward to sort of getting back on it. So it's not this weekend, but the weekend after. I'm going to be at Wrestle Carnival at the HMV Empire in Coventry, and here is the card. My God, it is a beaut. Look at that. Unbelievable. Headlined by Charles Crowley and former NXT UK superstar Saxon Huxley. We've got Boisterous Behavior there against CJ Rawlings and George Lydon. Impact Wrestling's Joe Hendry is taking on Gene Money. So much more. You can head over to thewrestlecarnival.com to grab your tickets for that one. It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. Wrestling at that venue is quite simply amazing. And me and RC Chaos, we get the best seat in the house for sure. For sure. So that is thewrestlecarnival.com for tickets. May 21st, the HMV Empire in Coventry. My favorite venue to do commentary at, to perform at. It's awesome. So I look forward to seeing you guys there. And if you are there and you see me, come and say hello. I'm approachable. I like speaking to people. I'm a people person. For the most part. So yeah, thewrestlecarnival.com for tickets for that one. Then, I'm not going to be at this one live, but myself and RC Chaos, we do this in post. So it is Slam Masters Wrestling, Clash at the Colliery. I can't pronounce them Welsh words. SlamMastersWrestling.com for tickets for that one. If you go to the Slam Masters Wrestling YouTube page, they've posted literally all of the matches from Back to the Banking Hall, and there is so much good stuff to check out there. Some amazing wrestling. It looks like a phenomenal venue as well, the Banking Hall, and we look to sort of get to that one to do commentary live at some point for that one. But as you can see there, man like Doris, Zaya Brookside, some incredible talent at Slam Masters Wrestling. So go check out Clash at the Colliery, Sunday, June the 4th, SlamMastersWrestling.com for tickets for that one. And we have a blast doing commentary for them as well. And I'm super happy with how the commentary turned out for the Back to the Banking Hall matches. Every single one of them sounded crisp. And it was, really, really good. Great footage as well. BA Productions did a fine job on the show, as he always does. Brandon just absolutely fucking kills it. My guy. My guy. Next up, and we will be there in person, Black Country Championship Wrestling, Hard Times, Friday, June the 9th. Look at that card. Look at that card, dude. Main event, Dan Maloney versus Joseph Connors. Two former NXT UK superstars. Unbelievable. Millie McKenzie on the card, another former NXT UK superstar, taking on Aluna Blue. Jack Ball versus Luke Douglas. Lucas Casimir versus Lucia Lee. TJ Sky versus Shane Hooker. Kid Lykos versus Riley Nova. Clarkwood versus Bad Intentions. Dude. James Mason, Kean Fox, Lee Hunter, and CJ Rawlings for the FCW Black Country Heavyweight Championship. BCCW2021.com for tickets for that one. Selling fast. Do not miss out. Good Lord. These shows that I get to do, I'm eating good on commentary for sure. All these shows that I do, I do with RC Chaos. And I'm so proud of that. So proud of our commentary partnership and how far it's come over the last year. And the fact that we get to do, real high caliber cards like these ones, oh my God, dude. Beyond anything I could have ever imagined when I started this, for sure. I love doing it, dude. I love doing it and I miss it. I can't wait for next weekend at Wrestle Carnival. It's going to be awesome. Then this one, June 17th, Saturday, June 17th, Wrestling in Hinckley, where I started and where I will always do. The Fear of Falling Tournament 2023, wrestlinginhinckley.bigcartel.com. And my old school, Hinckley Parks Primary School. It didn't used to be called that. When I went there, it was called Mount Grace. But that's what it's called now. Fear of Falling Tournament, Saturday, June the 17th. wrestlinginhinckley.bigcartel.com for tickets for that one. It's going to be amazing. It always is. Wrestling in Hinckley, super consistent. Always very, very good. Incredible talent on display. And yeah, I love Wrestling in Hinckley, man. I will always love Wrestling in Hinckley. They gave me the chance to do commentary, for the first time when I had never done it before. They were like, yeah, come on, do it. Here's the last show. Do the commentary for it. See how you get on. Did the commentary. And now look where we are, dude. We're doing so much. All over the country as well, man. And it's a pleasure. It's a privilege to get to do it. And I love doing it. And I've had to drop a couple of promotions just due to general life getting in the way and time being precious and all that sort of stuff. But man, I love the business. I love this business so much. And I'm so proud to be a part of the promotions that I am a part of. I'm super thankful to them for taking a chance on me. And that's all I ever wanted, was a chance. And Wrestling in Hinckley gave me that chance. And, the other promotions that have taken me on since, I've taken a chance. They took Wrestle Carnival took a chance on a brand new partnership in myself and RC. And, it's working out good. And thanks to that, we got recommended for places like Slam Masters. Dude, I'm so happy. Love being a professional wrestling commentator. It is so cool. And it's crazy to say it as well. And when you tell people that you do it, they're like, oh, okay, that's an interesting thing to be a part of, but it's cool, I guess. Yeah, it's cool. So I'm super excited for all them shows coming up. I've missed it. Can't wait to get back to it. Aside from doing this podcast, wrestling's my thing, dude. Wrestling is absolutely my thing. The Games and Graps podcast is returning. Me and Finn are recording tomorrow night. It is Wednesday right now. Finn and I are recording on Thursday. So you'll get a brand new Games and Graps podcast before this week is out. So you will get brand new added time, brand new Clubhouse, which is this right now that you're listening to in your ears. Maybe you're watching with your eyes, but I get the sound is still traveling into your ears. Yeah, and then you'll get the Games and Graps podcast. Plenty to talk about. Backlash, games of the month, all the usual Games and Graps shenanigans. And I can't wait. Can't wait. Without that, there wouldn't be this. Without the Games and Graps podcast, there wouldn't be Sonny G, the wrestling commentator. There just wouldn't. There just wouldn't. Games and Graps for life. For life. Like NWO. So, I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, if you remember what I said last week, I wasn't hyped for it at all. Like, at all. Wasn't hyped for it. I got a little bit flat on the MCU stuff. Black Panther was fine. Ant-Man was fine. You know, the TV shows, they've been fine. Very, hit and miss. But, yeah, I just wasn't hyped for Guardians. And I love those movies. I love Guardians 1 and 2. Loved the Christmas special. So I couldn't really put my finger on why I wasn't hyped for it. But anyway, we went to see it. And my God, I am so glad that we did. Because it was superb. From start to finish, it was just absolutely brilliant. It was the perfect way to round off the trilogy. And yeah, James Gunn did a fucking phenomenal job. Was hilarious. As with all the Guardians movies, they're funny, really, really funny. Action-packed, emotional. I saw Gaming Mule describe it as harrowing, and yes, it was also that. But it was just brilliant. It was just such a brilliant film. And if you're on the fence about going to watch it because of sort of, you've got mixed feelings on the other MCU movies that have come out recently, put them feelings aside and go and watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Because honestly, and trust me, it is so, so good. And yeah, I honestly, I can't wait to go and see it again. I'm really, really excited to see it again. There was even a temptation to go and watch it at the cinema again, which I still might do. I still might do that. But yeah, I'm really glad that I went to see it. And you know what? Now I'm very, very, and I was anyway, to be honest, but I'm really excited now for what James Gunn is going to do with DC. Because let's be fair here, DC not been great. I mean, I like a lot of the DC movies. I love Batman versus Superman, the director's cut. I love the director's cut. And what I don't understand about the director's cut is why that wasn't the theatrical release. Yeah, I know it's 3 hours, but the theatrical release was 2.5. So you might as well just put the rest of the footage in that makes the movie make sense. And then I don't think it gets panned so hard by critics because the director's cut is just way better and it just completely fills the gaps left by the theatrical release. And it's truly baffling to me. But, some of the other stuff is okay. The first Wonder Woman movie is good. The second one, not so good. Man of Steel is good, which of course then leads into Batman vs. Superman, which I also enjoy. Suicide Squad, the first one with Will Smith, is fine. It's a fun popcorn movie, but it is what it is. What else? Aquaman is okay. It's fine. The second one's in production hell. May as well not release it. What else was there? Is that it? I mean, but James Gunn's Suicide Squad movie, his Suicide Squad movie, easy for me to say, was good. I enjoyed that a lot. And of course, that led to Peacemaker, which is fucking awesome. A completely new direction for DC. And when those things happened, you sort of thought, okay, yeah, this is probably the better way for DC to go. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does. I'm looking forward to his Superman movie that's due to come out, I think, next year or 2025. I can't remember what it was, but Superman Legacy, I believe that's called. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what James Gunn does with that, and the whole DC going forward. I'm really excited. It's going to be the slate that he's laid out looks very interesting. The arcs that he's taking on look very interesting, and it's non-standard stuff. It's not stuff that you would expect, which I think is good, because I think you need a departure from the norm when it comes to DC. Because how many times can you see Batman's parents get killed? How many times can we relive that origin story? We've done it enough times. We don't need to see it again. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what James Gunn does with DC going forward. Yeah, I even enjoyed Black Adam as a standalone movie, but when you read the stuff that comes after it, like with how The Rock was and his attitude towards Shazam and the way that he wanted Black Adam to be like the face of DC and fighting with Superman, I've gone over this a million times, but yeah, that sort of, it leaves a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. And when I used to read comics, I used to read DC, so that's always been my preferred comic brand over Marvel. Just so happens that Marvel made better movies. But let's see what James Gunn does. I'm excited for it. Definitely want to see a Peacemaker season 2, which I think they are doing. I'd like to see a follow-on from the Suicide Squad movie. But yeah, James Gunn, fuck yeah, great director, phenomenal director. Just gets it. You know what I mean? He gets it. So go check out Guardians 3. Is the point I was trying to get to there. But hey, look, we go off on a tangent on this podcast. That's what we do. We go off on a tangent. Yeah. Booked to see Across the Spider-Verse, which, my God, I cannot fucking wait for. Cannot wait. Into the Spider-Verse is my favorite Spider-Man movie. I don't give a fuck. That is my favorite Spider-Man movie. It is absolutely awesome. Let's rank the Spider-Man movies. That's what we do on this podcast, dude. We rank movies, and that's what we're going to do now. Okay. In at number 1, Into the Spider-Verse. Because. Next up, Spider-Man No Way Home. It was great, man. It was really good. It was the last good MCU movie before Guardians 3. Next up, Spider-Man 2. The Sam Raimi version. Ooh, what a film. What a film that is. What a film. Ooh, what a film. Then Spider-Man Homecoming. Good movie. Good movie. Then Spider-Man 1. Again, the Sam Raimi version. A good movie. With Macho Man in it as well. I love that. Bonesaw is ready. Such a shit impression, honestly. But Macho Man is so good as Bonesaw, and he's only in it like a very short amount of time, but he's so good in that movie as Bonesaw. I fucking love that. I got you for 3 minutes. There's a bit of Vince in there. Hey, Spider-Man. He definitely changed Spider-Man's name. Hey, Spider Kid. Kid Spider. That's your new name now. Not sure why Vince is doing this shoulder shrugging thing that I'm doing. And you can see it on the video if you're watching it. Okay, yeah, Spider-Man 1. Then it's Spider-Man Far From Home. It's weak. It's pretty weak. And I like Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, but it's weak. It's a weak movie. It's a weak entry into the Spider-Man movies. It's a weak part of the Tom Holland trilogy. Yeah. And then the worst is Spider-Man 3. Sorry, Sam Raimi, but that movie sucks. Yeah, that movie sucks. Sorry. Sandman is a cool villain. Venom is a cool villain. But not in that movie. No. Venom sucks in that movie. Jesus Christ. It's the dude from that 70s show who plays Eddie Brock. And I don't know, it's just a black Spider-Man suit. There's a couple of cool bits of CGI when the suit's taken over him, and it resembles Venom a lot more. But then it's just a black Spider-Man suit. Hey, Sam Raimi let us down with that one. Would have been a great trilogy, but you fucked it with that one. And that, kids, is the Spider-Man movies ranked. Hell yeah. What am I playing at the minute? Now, obviously, I'm going to talk about other games when we do the Games and Grats podcast tomorrow. But I need to talk about the stronghold that I'm in currently, which is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I don't know why. And I don't know how this came to be. But the other day, I just was just sitting there thinking, man, I really would love to finish Breath of the Wild. Now, I am fucking miles off. I had Finn's copy of that game for absolutely ages. Gave it Finn back. Decided to buy it myself with the view to finishing it. And I did buy it a while ago. But this week, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get stuck in here. I'm gonna get stuck in. I tried a few weeks back, and I just couldn't get my head around it all. I don't think I was in the headspace for a game of this magnitude. But now, now I'm fully in. I am all in. All in. So yeah, I got my head around it. I got my bearings, remembered all the controls and what everything did. And now I'm fully back involved in it. I'm doing shrine. I'm not just plowing through. I'm not just mainlining it because I want to enjoy it. I want to experience it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing shrines. I'm leveling up. Any shrine I come across, I'm doing it. Some of them are very tough. Some of them are brain taxing. Some of them not so much. But I'm doing them. I want to get my upgrades. I want to upgrade everything, my stamina, my health. I want to do it to give me the best chance at finishing this game. Because I know if I don't get all my upgrades and shit, that I will fail miserably. I will absolutely fail miserably. But I am determined. And honestly, over the last sort of few days, I have put some serious hours into that game. I've taken down 2 of the 4 divine beasts. But what I'm doing is I'm exploring all the areas. Like I said, I'm seeking out the shrines. I'm, just exploring because the game world is absolutely fucking beautiful. It is absolutely stunning. Now, I've got an OLED Switch, so it's beautiful in handheld mode. But honestly, for a console that is literally 1080p HD resolution, no 4K, nothing like that, it's stunning in TV mode. It's just absolutely beautiful. It really is. The game came out in 2017, and you look at it now and you're like, yeah, there's games with better graphics, but there aren't as many games with this level of beauty. It's just a beautiful looking game. And not only that, it's a beautiful sounding game. It's honestly, I'm playing it right now and it's also relaxing. Yeah, there are some seriously taxing parts of the game, which are difficult both in combat and, with the puzzles. But it's a relaxing game while you're sort of running around the game world, whether you're on horseback or whether you're just running along or taking it in or climbing a mountain or whatever. It's just relaxing. And I'm just really enjoying it at the minute, really enjoying playing it. So I'm determined to get through this game. And it's not even because there's a new one coming out that I want to play, because I'm not, honestly, I've not seen that much about it. I know it's coming out. I saw some of the trailers for it and I was like, okay, it looks like Breath of the Wild. So it's not because I'm hyped for that one that I'm playing this one. It's because I just really wanted to get through it. You know, I've talked it up massively before, and how it was one of, I thought for the time that I'd spent with it, that I thought it's genuinely one of the most beautiful, and it's one of the best games of all time. And I truly believe that. I truly stand by that. I think Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games of all time. And I don't think my opinion will ever change on that. I genuinely believe it is. So, and because of that, I just really want to get through it. And again, I don't even know what made me just want to play it. I was looking at my Switch thinking, yeah, my Switch hasn't had much love recently. Yeah, and obviously I have seen an awful lot of stuff about Zelda recently because it's everywhere, because everyone's hyped for the new one. I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time for me to really knuckle down here and play through Breath of the Wild. And that's what I'm doing. And you know what? I am enjoying every single second that I'm spending with it currently. And I can't wait to carry on when I finish this podcast tonight. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to head back to my Switch and I'm going to pick up Breath of the Wild again. And I'm going to carry on. Currently at Hyrule Forest. I've just done the tower there. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing all the towers in the areas of the map where I've not uncovered. And then I'm just exploring those areas, finding the shrines, doing the shrines. Then obviously, once I've got enough tokens, go into the statues, upgrading either my health or my stamina. And I'm just making my way through the game. That's what I want to do. Like I said, I want to give myself the very best chance to beat the game as possible. And sure, I'm sure if you're good at these games, then I'm sure you can mainline it without doing any side stuff or exploring or any of that shit. But me, I need to do that. And that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, thoroughly enjoying that at the minute. I bought the original Resident Evil for Switch just because it was on sale. Might not ever play it, but I bought it. It's like £6, which I thought was very, very good. It's when I say the original Resident Evil, it's what would have been the GameCube version, the HD remaster, shall we say? But that's not my focus at the minute. My focus is Breath of the Wild, for sure. Because I'm just having a great time with it, a wonderful time. Dipped into. I've got another thing I bought on Switch as well. Actually, was the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Again, I got that dirt cheap. It was like £6. Again, that was about £6. And that's cool to mess around on. So I'm finding time difficult to come by to really sit in front of the TV and play at the minute. So to be able to play on the Switch, I have times like this where I'm just super busy at work, and sometimes I just don't have the focus to just sit in front of the TV and game. Sometimes it's nice to have a bit of background noise on, switch in the hand, relaxing on the sofa, just chilling. And that's where I'm at currently. I haven't even played eFootball or FIFA all week. I have fallen out with football a little bit because of the poor performance of my shit football team, who I love dearly, of course. But we've been shit the last couple of games, and it's made me angry. So I've avoided eFootball and FIFA this week. But yeah, we'll talk about gaming more when the Games and Graps podcast is being recorded, which, like I said before, is tomorrow night. Walkabout Mini Golf comes out on PlayStation VR 2 tomorrow. I hope it has crossplay at launch, because me and Finn are going to hit the course, dude. We are going to hit the fucking course, and I cannot wait. It's going to be so good to have somebody to play that game with. I'm just so psyched for it. So psyched. Fuck yeah. What else? Bad Buddy's entrance at Backlash was awesome. Holy shit. I mean, I'm not going to talk about Backlash in depth because, again, myself and Finn will talk about this on the podcast. of the Games and Grats podcast. But the Puerto Rican crowd, fuck, dude, they were up for it. Bad Bunny's entrance is an all-time entrance. Like, I think they'll be talking about it for years. I must have watched the video like 30 times because it was just so good. That moment where he walks through, where he walks into the aisleway and the lyrics to his song kick in, the beat drops and the lyrics kick in. Oh, ho, ho. Tell you what, Bad Bunny concerts must fucking go off. Super off. Like mental. They must be crazy concerts. So cool. But yeah, I thought Backlash as a whole was a very good pay-per-view. Served its purpose. Dynamite looks really good tonight, you know. It's like a pay-per-view. Moxley versus Omega in a cage. Ooh. Inject it. Looking forward to that one. We'll talk about that on the Games and Grats podcast as well, because I'm super excited for that. So, yeah. It's going to be a short and sweet Clubhouse podcast this week, but I wanted to record it because I want to keep the level of consistency up. You know what? I may as well follow up from last week while I'm here. So obviously last week, I spoke out about Xbox and the state of Xbox. And when I released the Clubhouse later on that day, Phil Spencer was on the Kind of Funny Games Xcast. And, you know, he looked a broken man. He looked dejected because, you know, obviously that earlier that week, you know, the UK government had basically blocked, you know, the merger for Activision. Redfall released to shit reviews, unbelievable social media criticism, people on podcasts just butchering Xbox, not just on podcasts, but on social media in general. But so Phil Spencer, he looked a broken man last week. But you know what? Fair play to him for approaching it head on, for taking it head on, and you know, basically being like, yeah, you know, it's been a bad week, and we need to bounce back. You know, and also fair play to Kind of Funny Xcast for asking the difficult questions. It was needed, and somebody needed to ask the questions, and I'm glad that they did. And I'm glad that Phil Spencer, you know, took on the responsibility as he should, you know, and answered the questions as open and honestly and as transparent as he possibly could. So more power to him. More power to him. And I hope, you know, obviously they're talking about the 60 FPS patch for Redfall. I hope that they can get that sorted. I haven't played it yet. I still haven't played it. I've got it on my Xbox 2 play, but I haven't played it. Still, I'll wait for that 60 FPS patch before I jump in and even entertain having a look at it. But he said they've got a good timescale for that. They've got a game showcase coming up on the 11th, and he was excited. You know, he mentioned obviously Starfield coming up, and he mentioned Hellblade as well, along with Forza. So I think it's a long shot that Hellblade launches this year. But obviously Forza and Starfield are going to. So it's good. It's a very interesting few months for Xbox, and it's, you know, make or break. I mean, he said on the podcast, and it's something that I disagreed with, and I do disagree with it. He said he doesn't think having great games alone is enough. Now, I disagree with that statement because, yeah, you know, people have moved to PlayStation 5 to stick within that ecosystem in terms of collecting trophies, and that's where the digital games library is and all that sort of stuff. But also, you know, in my opinion, games are the console sellers. You know, not Game Pass, not cloud gaming, none of that stuff. Games are where it's at. Gamers want games. Gamers go where the best games are. So, you know, he said, you know, they could make the best exclusives doesn't mean that, that Xbox would shift consoles. But I disagree with that. PlayStation have so many great console sellers in terms of games. The Uncharted series, that's a console seller. The Last of Us, that's a console seller. Horizon, again. The list goes on. So many console sellers on that console that would make people go, you know what, I need to play that, so I need to get that console. So great games would equal great console sales, in my opinion. So I feel like, from that aspect, Phil Spencer was a little bit short-sighted in what he said. But overall, I thought it was a good interview, and I thought it was a much-needed interview, and one that hopefully will, hopefully this last week or so will give Xbox a real kick up the arse in terms of putting out quality, real quality. But I guess I guess we'll see. But I Phil Spencer looked dejected enough where you thought this must have lit a fire under him. It must have. I saw today that the EU are probably going to, or are predicted to, approve the Activision Blizzard merger on the 15th of May. But again, that remains to be seen whether that comes through or not, because it was predicted that the UK would also approve it, and then that didn't sort of come to fruition. But we'll see. We'll see. But it was, it was a good interview from Phil Spencer. I just hope that it has lit the fire, and it has given them that incentive to just be better, be a lot more forthcoming with information, and more forthcoming with gameplay footage and release dates, and just be super transparent with what we can expect from the games that they have coming. And that's all we want. That's all we want as Xbox gamers. It's just a bit more transparency and a bit more consistency. And hopefully we'll get that going forward. Hopefully. But yeah. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time, I think. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Clubhouse podcast. I've enjoyed recording in video form once again. But of course, it will be released in both audio and video format. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do share with, your friends if you think that they would like it, if they are into wrestling or into video games, into general nonsense that I talk about. If you think that people that would like this podcast, please share it with them, because I want to try and reach as many people as I possibly can with not only this podcast, but with the Games and Graphs podcast as well. And in turn, more eyes and ears on those podcasts, get more eyes and ears on Added Time and everything else that we do as Team Games and Graphs Studios. So please share on social media. Please leave reviews on whichever podcast service you listen to this podcast on. Like on YouTube, leave a comment on YouTube. It all helps the algorithm. But any sort of shares or comments or anything like that is very much appreciated from myself and Finn and Steve as well. So thank you very much for listening to episode 21 of the Clubhouse podcast with me, Sonny G. And I'll see you next week. Take it easy, guys. Goodbye.